Hello everyone and welcome back to another Core Booster set intro. And I'm Billy Brake, this is Jerome McHale, and we are so excited to talk about Chaos Origins. I cannot tell you how long I've been waiting for this set to come out. There's so many exciting cards in there. Yugi's on the cover, and also that brand new version of Magician of Black Chaos that we're going to talk about in just a little bit. But there's so many exciting things that are coming out in this set. And there's one really brand new thing that's being included in this Core Booster, right?
There is.
And that,
well, I mean, there's two, right? So this is going to be the first core booster that has extended art cards, which we first introduced in Rarity Collection 5 and then in Battles of Legend, Glorious Gallery. But we are also debuting the new Starlight 2.0 technology.
oh,
It's like
shiny.
the Starlights you know, but even better.
Shinier and sparklier?
Shinier, sparklier. See if we can show you one of those a little later on. But you're going to see, just this beautiful rainbow border on these cards if you happen to pull one. So, if you happen to get one at your premiere event in just a week's time, maybe compare it to an existing one so you can see what all the differences are. I think you're really going to enjoy them. I know we do.
Oh, definitely. Really excited to see those new Starlight Rare technology in action in this Core Booster. And as you said, yeah, the extended art cards. Absolutely excited. And there's going to be some in the set that I want to put into my deck. So it's going to be tough. I want to keep them in my binder or show them off when I'm out there dueling, but really pumped for the ones that are here in Chaos Origins.
So my compromise is I'm going to play with the ultra rare versions of them and then keep the Starlight ones
Oh, okay.
in the binder.
The
I
Starlight
think that's the way to go. You play with the ultras and then put the Starlights to the binder.
I think that might be the call. But all right, let's go ahead and jump into it and start talking about some of the exciting things we have in Chaos Origins.
This set's huge.
It's huge, and there's so many different things to look at. And what's really cool about this, so we can go and talk, there's two different ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, right? We have Yu-Gi-Oh! Advanced or Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesis. This set has two themes that are getting new cards. Two themes that are getting cards that I want to use, one for Advanced and one for Genesis. Yeah. So I've been really waiting for this set to really jump back into like tournament play on both sides of the ways that you can play Yu-Gi-Oh! At our big tournaments now.
Well, maybe we'll have to bring both Advanced and Genesis decks for the WCQ, which is coming up pretty soon after the release of this. So this comes out the 8th, and then the very next weekend is going to be the WCQ, where these cards will be legal and you'll see them in high-level play for the first time.
Yep, and we're going to have a live stream for that. You're not going to want to miss out. And with the Genesis tournament that starts on Friday as well, you're going to be able to see some of that action, but also still be able to see your Advanced action during that weekend.
And if you're going, you're going to be able to play in both as well.
Yep,
as long as you have the invite to the WCQ.
Yep, no invite for the Genesis one.
No invite for the Genesis one. You can just show up and play.
Yeah,
but if you have your invite, you can play both.
Yeah, so definitely really exciting stuff. And as Jerome mentioned, Chaos Origins will be coming out July 1st and available everywhere July 3rd with the premiere event a week before that. But let's go ahead and jump into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the Chaos theme, the Ritual of Light and Darkness cards. This is a theme with a brand new take on some of Yugi's iconic cards like Magician of Black Chaos and Blackluster Soldier. It's all going to revolve around this main continuous trap card, Mind Shuffle. If you remember the anime when Yugi dueled Pegasus, he had to keep swapping back between Yami Yugi and Yugi to kind of keep Pegasus guessing at what kind of cards, kind of conceal what he was trying to do. And now you can kind of do that yourself in the game. So let's go and break down what the card does. During either player's turn, so this is an activated effect, you can add one monster that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. So that means as long as it's on the field, you're going to be able to access any card for your theme and at the cost of a card. But when you have cards that have effects in the graveyard, or maybe they trigger when they're sent to the graveyard, you can turn that negative into a positive. And you will only be able to use that adding effect once per turn. But this next effect, you can actually trigger it multiple times per turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can return one level 7 or higher monster you control to your hand as a cost. So you're going to be able to dodge effect negation and stuff like that. And special summon one monster that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your hand with a different name than the return monster, ignoring its summoning conditions. You cannot activate these effects of Mind Shuffle in the same chain. So you can return any level 7 or higher monster. It doesn't have to be related to your theme. So it could be cards like Phydralis Harmonia, Fantastical Dragon Phantasme is another one. I'm thinking of a high-level monster you can return to your hand to get that added value as well. And then, yeah, so many different ways you can use it. And then you're able to also summon out a monster from your hand. We're going to look at what the cards do in this theme a little later on and find out why that is important, but it will interact with your opponent on their turn. Now, when you're looking at this, you're like, this is a continuous trap card, Billy. I'm going to have to set it face down and wait till the next turn before I can use it. But that's not the case with these next two cards that we're going to have for this theme. next few cards, but Black Chaos is going to be the first one we're going to want to look at. He's a dark spellcaster, level 8 effect monster with 3,000 attack points and 2,500 defense points. Love to see those stats. Iconic Blackluster Soldier now with a new effect. It cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by shuffling one spellcaster or warrior ritual monster from your hand or graveyard into the deck. Pretty easy to summon. And you can only special summon it once per turn this way. But the effect part that matters the most, that gets us that Mind Shuffle onto the field, is going to be the discard effect. You can discard this card, place one continuous trap that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your deck or graveyard face up on your field. So even if they get rid of your Mind Shuffle, you're going to have a way to get it back onto the field. While you have a ritual spell in your graveyard, this card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, and once per turn during the main phase, you can banish 2 cards your opponent controls. So you're going to be able to get this card back to your hand. We'll find out a little bit later on with the Ritual of Light and Darkness. So it's going to be able to get you your trap card, and you can summon it to be a boss monster on your field and finish games quickly. Absolutely phenomenal. Next up, we have Skull Archfiend of Chaos. This Dark Fiend, level 6, with 2,500 attack and 1,200 defense. What's important here? Level 6 Fiend. Plenty of ways to utilize level 6 monsters and Fiend monsters with other strategies. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for cards like Aerial Eater, things like that, along with the Fiendsmith engine. You can really see how these kind of cards play together. But when we read the effect, you're going to find there's another theme that works really well alongside this. So if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target 3 other cards in your graveyard or banishment, including a card that mentions a Light and Darkness Ritual, place them on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, special summon this card. So if it's in your graveyard, you're going to be able to bring it back to the field. Being able to special summon level 6 monsters on the field, really great. Maybe some rank 6 plays with DDD, High Wave, King Caesar. Lots of options already.
You just drop it in the graveyard with Mind Shuffle.
And then you drop it in the graveyard with Mind Shuffle, and what did we say? As long as you're discarding a card and it has an effect, you get a bonus. Guess what? This guy has an effect. This Summoned Skull, this Skull Archfiend of Chaos, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can send one ritual spell from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and then add a ritual monster as mentioned on it. I've seen this effect before. I've played these games before. I know this card can add Habakiri, but it can also get you that Ritual of Light and Darkness into the graveyard, which while it's in your graveyard, you'll see later on, has more applications and effects. But if you're able to discard this, you can send Mitsurugi Mirror, add Habakiri. Pretty strong stuff. It's also a Fiend. If you're able to summon something like Reproducus, you can turn it into a Light. It's all of a sudden a Light Fiend that accesses a whole nother engine you could possibly play in your deck. Really awesome card. Love Summon Skull. Awesome that he gets this new retrain. Then next up for more of these new cards with awesome effects that are memorable from the anime, Celtic Mystic. It's kind of a combination of Mystic Elf and Celtic Guardian. But this Light Warrior level 4 with 1,400 attack and 2,000 defense, when it's normal summoned or special summoned, you can reveal your entire hand, and as long as you reveal a card that mentions Light and Darkness Dragon, you get to Graceful Charity. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2. But for the rest of the turn, you can only summon once from the extra deck. You can also tribute this card to special summon one ritual monster that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your hand. So it's going to be another way to get out those ritual monsters without having to use the ritual spell. But the big thing is you can search this card with that Mind Shuffle. It could be one of your last actions. You can summon this after you've thinned your deck out enough and dig for those points of interactions out of your deck that you can use to disrupt your opponent once your deck is a lot smaller than it was at the beginning of the turn. And then since you can still summon another time from your extra deck, maybe you're going to use this as a link material for something like IP Masquerena, but that's up to you to decide how you're going to best incorporate this card into your strategy. But having a searchable Graceful Charity, pretty solid stuff.
Pretty good, and you're going to have plenty of cards that mention Light and Darkness Ritual. You'll be able to fulfill that condition easily.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then next up we have Griffo, another card that's going to help you access that Mind Shuffle. It has a quick effect to discard this card, so you can do it during either player's turns. Either the next battle or effect damage you take becomes 0. Very Karibo-like, makes a lot of sense. Being able to stop effect damage is also pretty cool. Kind of big bonus. Or you can set one quick play spell or trap that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your deck, and it can be activated this turn. So now you know that you have 2 ways to access that Mind Shuffle, plenty of ways to get that continuous trap onto your field turn 1. And that's the best part is not only get to use that continuous trap on your turn, you're also being able to use it on your opponent's turn. So it's just like the gift that keeps on giving. Really, really cool. And at worst, it's a defensive option that you can also add back to your hand with Light and Darkness Ritual. Or if you're in a dire straits, search it with Mind Shuffle to try and survive to get to your next turn, because this deck is great at follow-up.
And this is also the card that you can win at the premiere event as well.
Oh.
So normally it's an ultra rare, but you can get a secret rare version of it, kind of like the Charmer Quartet in Bloom from Blazing Dominion. which that one became very popular. I imagine this was going to be very popular from the start.
Yeah, Griffo is a really cute one, and it's a good card. Cute and good, really awesome combination. I know I'm going to want to go to my premiere event and get my hands on that secret rare version. All right, next let's go ahead and talk about the ritual monsters themselves. Both these cards will be extended arts. You'll be able to get them as extended art Starlight Rares. I know I'm going to do my best to get my hands on them. They're absolutely beautiful and even stronger. We won't go specifically over everything that they do, but they're both level 8 ritual monsters. The key points are the Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos, on summon can add back a spell card from your graveyard, just like that old Dark Magician of Chaos effect.
The original version of it from Invasion of Chaos.
So really cool callback to that. And you saw with the trap, you're going to be able to summon it on your turn, return it, summon back it again on your opponent's turn. So you're going to be continuously adding back those spell cards. And on the opposite side, where you have the Black Luster Soldier, Soldier of Light and Darkness, his effect when he's summoned just banishes a card on the field. So you're going to be able to summon this out with Mind Shuffle and at least get a Disruption banish, but it also does so much more on your own turn. If it's special summoned, you can banish the card, and then when it destroys an opponent's, this card destroys an opponent's monsters by battle, you can make it gain 1500 attack, and if you do, it can attack again. Very Black Luster Soldier-like.
It's kind of the best of all the Black Luster Soldiers. Just like this part from this one, this part for this one, this part for this one, put them all together. Put it on a ritual monster.
Yep, and it is absolutely fantastic. They also have their own respective effects. The Soldier of Light and Darkness is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target it, while on the other side, the Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos, is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target it as well. So both really strong cards that you're going to want to include in your deck if you were playing the Ritual of Light and Darkness. But maybe you're all wondering, oh, it's a ritual spell. Rituals, you know, they cost so much. They're so hard to use. I have to tribute all the monsters out of my hand. No, that is just not the case. The Ritual of Light and Darkness is much cooler when it comes to the ritual spells. So it can be used to summon either one. You can tribute monsters from your hand just like a regular ritual spell, or banish them from the graveyard. So it has that Necroz's Mirror-like effect where you're able to pay the cost from the graveyard, which means they're basically summoning for free. You're not having to give up that value from the cards you control or have in your hand. But the even cooler part about this card, when you first read this last line, you kind of have to double take. You're like, wait a minute, is this really what it does? But it says, if this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card and one card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your graveyard to your hand. Both those cards straight back to your hand. So if you're able to send a lot of cards from your deck to your graveyard, find a way to fill it up, you're just able to add them back, or when you use it right away, add it back to ritual summon another monster. Lots of uses for this card, really strong stuff. It's a fantastic card. And then you also saw the other cards can send it to the graveyard, like the new Summon Skull, the Skull Archfiend. Can send it into the graveyards where you can add it back later on with something else that you put in there. It's also a good way to add back that Black Luster Soldier, Black Chaos. After you discard it to place, once you ritual summon, you can put it back in your hand so you can summon it again to finish off games. Lots of great utility. And then there are a couple of quick plays. There's a new Chaos Magical Hats and Chaos Mystic Box. So let's call back to those cards. Really strong quick play spells. You're going to want to take some time to look at those.
Very anti-targeting cards, which is it fills in the gap in the protection that's on the ritual monsters.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. They all deal with targeting, so make sure to take some time to look at those and see if it is worth including them. And lastly, we're going to talk about a card that is a ritual support card. Not exactly for these cards, but definitely works well with the Magician of Black Chaos cards. And that's going to be Ragged Records of Rites. So this card says, reveal one ritual spell from your hand or deck, and if you do, add one monster from your deck to your hand that mentions that spell's name. And then if a face-up ritual monster you control leaves the field by a card effect while it's in the graveyard, and you don't control any face-up monsters other than ritual monsters, you can add it back from your graveyard to your hand. So if the wind is blowing onto the east and it's 20 degrees on a Tuesday, it will come back to your hand.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard, no. It just has a lot of it's funny reading with all the layers, but it does return your hand as long as you're dealing with ritual monsters on the field. But yeah, another way to search Habakiri or any one of these ritual monsters in the deck. It's a really cool spell card that you're going to check out. Ritual stocks are high right now, so I would definitely look at these cards that are about Ritual of Light and Darkness and make sure you check them out. I know this is the deck that I'm building for Advanced as soon as I can get my hands on the cards at the premiere event.
I'm thinking I'm going to build this next one.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm going to build this next one. So next up, we're going to take a look at a new Thunder strategy called Blitzclick.
Ooh.
The closest historical analog I think I can give you on this one is that it's kind of similar to Gadgets. This is a deck where you want to grind your opponent's resources down to nothing, card by card by card, as you summon more monsters from your hand. And with the Gadgets, you had to summon the gadget, get the next gadget, play Smash and Ground, and you needed multiple cards to do it like that. But the way Blitzclick works is that the Smash and Ground type effects and the summoning and searching type effects are on the same cards. Catch is that you have to start the chain reaction first, and then the second card is what really starts getting you going. So first, let's take a look at Whisker Blitzclick. So this is how you're going to finish off your games a lot of the time. Whisker Blitzclick, you can see he's a thunder monster here, and anytime during a turn in which you've destroyed something with a Blitzclick card effect, you can show Whisker Blitzclick, special summon up to 3 monsters in your hand, or 3 thunder monsters from your hand, which includes himself, of course, because he's a thunder monster, and destroy that many cards on the field. But then you're locked into only special summoning effect monsters from the hand. So the way that the deck works is that there's no extra deck monsters, no summoning from the deck or the graveyard or anything. What you're doing is you're loading up your hand with these thunder monsters and then striking like lightning and summoning those monsters and destroying things at the same time.
That just Blitzclicked with me now.
Mm-hmm. Well, Whisker Blitzclick, you can see, also has an effect to help you negate monster effects that also returns something to your hand as well. So Whisker gets all these monsters on the field, it destroys a bunch of stuff, and then it can return something back to the hand to make sure that your opponent's monster effects don't go off. So like if you destroy all their stuff, oh, we don't want to trigger that on destruction effect, so we're just going to pick something up to negate it. So how about the other monsters? Well, there's 4 other Blitzclick monsters in the set, and they kind of come in pairs here. So we're going to go through them in pairs. So first, take a look at Surge and Grain Blitzclick. You can see these two are kind of mirrors to each other. You see Surge Blitzclick here, you can just reveal it to target a monster on the field and destroy it. And then if you do, you special summon a thunder monster from your hand. And that could be Surge Blitzclick itself, or it could be any of the other ones from your hand as well. But generally speaking, you need to get one of these on your field first before you can start chaining together, because you see the other effect is if a card is destroyed by a Blitzclick effect while this is on the field, and you go ahead and get a Surge. So for Surge, it's a monster. For Grain, it's a spell card or the field spell, Hideout in the Sky Coolum, which is not technically a Blitzclick card, but you can get it here because it's their hideout, it's their field spell. You can see that on these 2 cards, the things they do are kind of reverse, and they add up to kind of everything in the whole. So for example, Surge destroys a monster, Surge is a monster, this destroys a spell or trap, Surge is a spell or trap. Now let's take a look at the next 2. Next we have Crackle and Emmy Blitzclick. Now these ones you can use on your opponent's turn. The only one that has a quick effect other than Whisker is Crackle here. So during your opponent's turn, when they activate a monster effect on the field, you can reveal this, destroy the monster, special summon a Thunder. This is kind of like Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, for instance.
Very good.
Emmy, on the other hand, is a little more like a Poplar type effect, where you add it to your hand with an effect. You can reveal it, destroy a card on the field, and special summon a Thunder monster from your hand. And all of these, when you're doing this, they'll put that lock on you. You can only summon effect monsters from the hand. Now, when these are on the field, if another card is destroyed by a card effect, Emmy goes ahead and gets a Blitzclick Trap, and then Crackle sends a Blitzclick spell or trap from the deck to the graveyard. So between these 4, you can move your cards all around wherever you need them, and always make sure that you're getting more out of each destruction as well. Let's take a look at some of these spell and trap cards. So we'll start with the Hideout in the Sky Coolum. So this theme needs something to destroy in order to get going. This is normally something that is very difficult to do if you're going first, because your opponent will not have anything for you to destroy. You don't really want to destroy your own stuff, although in many cases you are able to. You can target a monster on the field if you take a look with Surge Blitzclick there. Target 1 monster on the field, etc. But it's better if you just give your opponent a monster to destroy here, and Hideout in the Sky Coolum lets you do that. So monsters are normal or special summoned from the hand. They get stronger, 500 attack and defense. Great. But also during your main phase, you can give your opponent a monster. It's called the, what is the Mech Beast Token.
Mech Beast Token?
Mech Beast Token, a level 6, 2000 attack and defense monster. And then you also get to add a Blitzclick monster from your deck to your hand when you do that. So you both give them the monster, get Surge,
and a way to summon it?
And a way to summon it all at the same time.
Love to see it.
All at the same time. It's very nice. And then also, if a card is destroyed by a Blitzkrieg while this is in your graveyard, you can add it back to your hand. So even if it does get destroyed, for example, because you have to destroy it yourself in order to get your deck going, you can just get it back the next time you destroy something else. Now, the other spells are also really useful. Blitzkrieg Breakaway, take a close look at this one. So first off, I could just place a continuous trap from your deck to the field, a Blitzkrieg Continuous Trap, which we'll see in a moment. But also you can return a Thunder monster to your hand and target a card on the field and destroy it. That's useful for a lot of different reasons. One, you can use your other card effects in hand. Two, it adds it from your deck, or adds it to your hand, so any Blitzkrieg can then trigger and come back out immediately as well and destroy something else. Then we have Step Leader over here, the continuous spell, which if a card is destroyed by your Blitzkrieg card effect, target a Thunder monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. And then it also has a function where it could special summon something from your hand and destroy itself. And that means you could special summon the monster from your hand and then destroy this, and this is a Blitzkrieg card, so it will make it so that you can then use your when destroyed effect of the monster you just summoned to the field as well. So all these cards work together. They're like a well-oiled machine. You just have to figure out what order to put the gears into place. Kind of like gadgets.
I do see the similarities, yeah.
And then finally we have the trap cards. So there's two different continuous trap cards for the theme. One of them is Return Stroke. This gives you your monster's protection from being destroyed by card effects. Your opponent's card effects, rather, not your own. You might need to blow up your own cards at some point. But more importantly, if your opponent activates a spell card or an effect, you can return one of your Blitzkrieg monsters to the hand and negate that effect. So we know we have a monster effect negation with Whisker and a spell effect negation here with Return Stroke. And then you can also banish this from the graveyard to return a monster to your hand as well, which again is good for getting Emmy back to your hand, especially during your opponent's turn. And then the other one is Blitzkrieg Alternator. This one drains your opponent's monster's attack and defense for each Thunder monster you control by 300 points each.
And an effect that's surprisingly annoying. If anyone has played against like tier limits back in the day, just that scream making your monsters lose attack was very frustrating.
It is a pain.
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
Also there's a Fire Fist monster that was like that as well.
A Fire Fist that reduced attack. Which one?
The Synchro.
Oh, the Synchro. Okay. Is it
for each fire formation?
Oh.
So it would get bigger and the others get smaller.
Okay, cool, yeah. It's definitely an effect you don't want to overlook, yeah.
Yep, and it's very, very easy to overlook this as well. There's a Sword Soul that does this as well.
Oh, yeah, Changing.
Changing does this.
Yeah, Changing's already so big, it's kind of like just added on, yeah. Changing is a big one.
So yeah, Blitzkrieg Alternator goes in and drains attack and defense from your opponent's monsters, but it's also a way to help get you the cards you need, because you can shuffle a Blitzkrieg card from your hand or face it field back into the deck to get any Thunder monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. So any Thunder monster, not just the Blitzkrieg, that means you can get something like Thunder King Ryo out of your deck, which then can be thrown into play by any of your things that can summon the Thunder monster from hand, which is nearly all of them.
All hail Thunder King Ryo. All hail Thunder King Ryo.
Even if you just play one Thunder King Ryo, which is probably all you're going to need to play since it's so easy to access all of these cards, you can keep playing it, using its effect to negate a summon, get it back over and over again. It's a very, it's also a gadget thing as well. That's also the era that Thunder King Ryo was good in as well.
It's all coming together.
And if this card is in the graveyard, perhaps because you sent it with Emmy, you can go ahead and banish from the graveyard to get a Blitzkrieg spell or Coolum from your deck to your hand as well. So this deck it does a ton of different stuff. The thing you have to watch out for when you're playing it is if you don't get that first monster on the field and get it to stick before you start really going off with your destruction effects, you might run out of cards prematurely, which is much like when your first gadget didn't make it.
The similarities continue.
They continue even to the weaknesses of the deck. But I think that this deck is really cool. It's got a unique way of kind of playing without using the extra deck or really using the main deck other than shuffling things around and moving them around. And it's really satisfying to go, okay, you destroy this, here's a guy. Destroy this, here's a guy. Destroy this, here's a guy. Until you win.
Yeah, or you just be like, destroy this, here's a Thunder King. Good luck.
That's a little less satisfying.
All hail Thunder King.
But yeah, Thunder King is a classic, so I'm glad that it can see some play.
It has new art, again.
It does have new art as well, which you'll see in the Ultimate Tournament Pack coming up very soon at OTS locations near you. But we're going to take a quick break right now. Corey is it's a huge set. We've got a lot more to cover. So
We could really talk about every card in the set, to be honest. Yeah.
And we'd run out of we'd run out of breath long before we run out of tape. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we will see you momentarily.
"私はあなたに出会えたわ。綺麗な空しか知らなかった私に土の安らぎを教えてくれた。あなたが世界を救ったんだもの。一度ならわがままを言う権利はあるわ。ね。
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that nice commercial break. Got to stretch your legs a little bit. Maybe you went and tried to find out what else is in Chaos Origins while you're waiting to eagerly find out about some more of the awesome themes that we have for you. But yeah, excited to keep the show going.
All right. Well, we're going to keep a long-time tradition going. 9 years in the making. We have been normal summoning Alistair for 9 years. And we're not going to stop. Just to be clear, we're not going to stop.
You're still going to normal summon Alistair.
But also, today, I want you to special summon Alistair.
Oh,
that's right, the new Alistair.
Okay, cool.
The new Alistair the Reminiscent. It's got the effect that increases a fusion monster's attack by 1,000. And you can special summon it just by targeting a spellcaster or a fusion monster on the field. So this card, you target a fusion or a fusion monster or a spellcaster, special summon it, give that monster 1,000 attack points until the end of the turn, and then if this was normal or special summon, you get an invocation or a spell that mentions it. So you could basically just use this like Alistair and normal summon it to get invocation or an invocation type spell.
9 years later, 9 years later, we're still doing it.
Yeah, you could do that. But one thing to keep in mind, though, is that it's not Alistair the Invoker. The original monsters do need specifically Alistair the Invoker. Now, there are some new fusion monsters that don't and just need an Alistair monster, but we'll get to them a little bit later. Now, if you want to get Alistair, well, in addition to Magical Meltdown, you're going to be able to use this new card, Ivas, Divine Spirit of the Law. You can banish it from your hand or field to get any Alistair monster from your deck to your hand. Then, if this effect was actually on the field, you can normal summon a spellcaster monster from your hand. Well, a lot of times that's going to be Alistair, but it is any spellcaster. So you could use something like Zoroa, the Magistus Zoroa. The nice one, the level 4 tuner.
Yeah.
Add a little bit of synchro power to your normal, usually fusion deck.
The Magistus cards have been popping up in all sorts of fusion strategies, so I could definitely see them being working here, yeah.
Now, to use that effect, you need to have banished Ivas from the field. That can be a little difficult to get him there because he's a level 8 monster, but there is a companion spell card here. If you take a look at Sacred Spirit Sword Ivas on the other side, you can get one of these 3 effects, and the first one is to summon Ivas Divine Spirit of the Law from your deck or graveyard. Easy. But it also lets you take an Alistair from your deck and either send it to the graveyard or banish it, which also gets it into circulation to be used as fusion material. If it's in the graveyard, you can use it for invocation, obviously. If it's in your banished pile, you can use it for a different card that we're going to see shortly. And then it also lets you just take a peek at your opponent's extra deck if you want to. Just look at 3 different cards, see if you can figure out what they're playing from that, and then banish one of those.
Love it when my opponent does that. That's my favorite, is when they come after my extra deck.
No.
But at least it's thematically correct. Yeah. Like, if someone's going after my extra deck, it better be Alistair. Like, he's all about using those different...
He's really going to go after him, which we'll see fairly shortly as well.
Oh, no. Foretold.
Now, there's also another main deck monster here. It feels slightly blasphemous, I think, for Invoke to have so many main deck monsters at this point. But we've got them. The last one is Viracum, the Divine Spirit of Artifice. This is a light monster, so of course it could be a material for Invoke Mechaba if you like. But it also has kind of a Mechaba-like effect of its own. So first off, if you have an Alistair on your field or graveyard, either of them, you can, well, any of them really, I think there's 3. You can special summon this card from your hand, and if it's special summoned, you can set Invocation or a spell that mentions it from your deck. Then if your opponent activates a card or effect in response to one of your fusion monster's effects, as a quick effect, you can banish this card you control, negate that opponent's effect, and banish that card. So it's kind of a Mechaba, but only for when you activate something in response to a fusion. So it's a little more like Zalen, I guess. I really want the Starlight version of this. This is going to look so cool.
It's beautiful.
But Invocation Sword is a quick play spell that lets you fusion summon using monsters you control. But if you're fusion summoning an invoked fusion monster, you can also return banished monsters from either player's banished cards to the graveyards. So if we banished an Alistair with the previous spell card, we can then use that as material with Invocation Sword. Then during the main phase, if the card is in your graveyard, you can target Alistair Invocation in your graveyard, shuffle this card into your deck, and then add that target back to your hand. So it also has a recycling effect like the original Invocation.
To be able to grab it again later on. And also quick play fusion spells, the implications of the things that you can do with those are wide reaching.
It's very handy. Like this card is really strong, especially if you can get a lot of different fusion monsters banished. And you are going to be able to with these new invoked fusion monsters. So here's 3 new invoked fusion monsters. These each require an Alistair monster, not specifically Alistair the Invoker, and they also take one of 2 attributes as their fusion materials. So Sorath here, Fire and Wind, Babyron is Light or Earth, and then Oceanus is Dark or Water. And the interesting thing about these is that they all kind of like mix together. So for example, let's say you make Oceanus first. You can then fuse that with something to make Babyron. And then you can use that to make Sorath.
So the attributes kind of lead to the next one?
Lead to the next one that way. So getting back to Sorath here, since we have Sorath up first, during either player's main phase, as a quick effect, you can target a level 6 or lower monster in either graveyard, summon it to your field in defense position to negate its effects. So for me, I think the thing I'm probably going to summon back with this is one of the Alistairs. That gives you level 6 light, level 4 dark. You can, well, this is also slightly blasphemous, but you can make Chaos Angel with both its light and dark effects active in that case. But the most important thing about doing it, yeah.
I like it. Sorry, I had to appreciate it. Yeah.
The most important thing about that, though, is getting Sorath into the graveyard, because it's also got a great graveyard effect, where you can do a fusion summon. So you take a look at that. If it's in your graveyard, you can fusion summon an invoked fusion monster from your extra deck, banishing this card from your graveyard and monsters from your field or graveyard as material. Well, this is a light monster, and let's say that we did our little Chaos Angel trick there, and we've got Alistair the Invoker in the graveyard with this. We can just fuse those 2 and make a Mechaba to go with it. It's pretty good.
Sign me up.
Invoke Babyron here. If it's special summon, you get to add either Viracam, who we saw earlier, that's the negation one, or you can get Gamma Summon from your deck to your hand, which is a new trap card in this set. And then you can banish a monster from either graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target a fusion monster you control. So monsters your opponent currently controls, lose attack equal to the targeted monster's attack until the end of the turn. Now what do we want to do with that? Well, this is a fire monster, so we can fuse this off with Alistair for Invoke Purgatrio. Well-known finisher, but it's even easier for it to finish players off if you can drain the attack of all of your opponent's monsters by the attack of your Purgatrio. So these cards essentially really work well together with the originals. This isn't a theme where you're replacing all of your original cards. You're going to play them all together, and it's going to work really well. Now, you're banishing all of these fusion monsters to use their effects. So what are we doing with all of these banished fusion monsters? Like, even Alistair the Reminiscent has to banish a fusion monster from your extra deck in order to use its effect to add an invocation. But why do we want to do all of that? Well, it's so that we have plenty of material for this final monster, Hyper-Invoked Aeon. Hyper-Invoked Aeon needs 2+ fusion monsters with different attributes as its material. So you're going to get as many attributes as you can into your banishment, along with whatever else. And then you want to use Invocation Sword to put them all back in your graveyard and fusion summon Hyper-Invoked Aeon. What happens when you do? Well, you can banish cards from the field or graveyards up to the number of monsters used as material. Seems pretty good. People play Guardian Chimera and enjoy that effect greatly.
Yeah, non-targeting removal, absolutely phenomenal.
Or actually, I guess it's closer to Trishula, right? It also gets the graveyard, just not
Oh
the
yeah,
hand.
kind of, yeah.
But instead of going after the hand, you can actually go somewhere a little more devious than that. If you've used 3 or more materials, you then get to look at your opponent's extra deck and banish up to 3 cards from it.
Great.
And
Extra deck.
if you could do that
Where'd it
early
go?
on enough, then there's a very good chance that you are going to win that duel.
It's okay, I was playing Domain Monarchs anyway. I have no extra deck. We're fine.
And then as a quick effect, you can also declare an attribute to change all the other monsters on the field to that attribute.
And he's a fiend.
Yep, he's a fiend as well. And he's gigantic as well. 3,800 attack points is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even, it's so good, and you don't even have to get to that huge amount of attack points to realize how awesome this card is.
Yeah,
and,
it's demoralizing even before you get to the attack points.
I think the thing, demoralizing is a good word for
at least, you get hit by it, and you lose your extra, and it's like, well, I'm not going to last that much longer anyways. It's not going to be that bad.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is like when I first saw like Invoke Sword, you see quick play fusion spell, or like, okay, so I can fusion summon on my opponent's turn. What am I looking for? I'm looking for fusions that do something on summon. Well, guess what? This card does something on summon. It is very, very strong.
And it's really easy to get all of that stuff banished and then just bring it all back at once. Yeah. This strategy is a lot faster than it sounds. It seems like, oh, I got to go get all these fusions, and they need to be banished, and I want to get this other card out. Well, surely that's too complex to do in a real duel, but it's really not.
Yeah, no, Alistair is back and in a big way. I'm really excited about the new Invoked cards. Yeah, they're really cool, and I think the fusions are awesome. You said they'll have looser restrictions. Like the other ones were one specific attribute plus the specific Alistair. These have the 2 plus the Alistair name. But yeah, I think they're really good cards, and I'm going to take a look at them for sure to play in either Advanced or Genesis, really. But speaking of Advanced or Genesis, I talked about how I was going to have 2 decks that I wanted to play. Well, the Ritual of Light and Darkness, that was my Advanced deck. My Genesis deck, pending the points, I don't know how many points these cards are going to get quite just yet, but
we'll all find out when, I mean, I know the answer, but everybody else will find out when the Chaos Origins sneak peek happens, just like we did last time.
Awesome, that's good to know. Yeah, I'll be waiting for that, because I'm definitely, when Genesis first rolled out, the first deck I built actually was Phantom Knights. So spoiler, that's what we're going to talk about, new Phantom Knight cards. I'm going to do my best Yudo impression. I've always been a big fan of Phantom Knights, even since their first release, around the Arc 5 time period. But
this is the deck I played for the Konami Bounty event, right when Wing Raiders came out.
Oh, cool.
Which you were at.
Yep, yeah,
you played our president at the time.
I did. I remember I used Max C and I kept drawing the cards. It was a lot of fun. But he did not shy away from Max C. He was like, I'm going to just take out your life points, which he did, which was really, really cool. But yeah, Phantom Knight's big fan for a long time. I do want to use them in Genesis, so I will have to give up Cherubini and the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche. But if you're going to use them in advance, you still have those options when you're utilizing these new cards. Now, the Phantom Knight's always been a rank 3 dark kind of deck. Phantom Knights break swords, their key card, allowing you to destroy itself in another, or destroy any one of your cards to destroy one of your opponent's cards. But you can destroy itself, and then it summons back some Phantom Knights. But it's always kind of revolved around break sword and then the Phantom Knight's Fog Blade, which is a trap that can negate a monster effect. If it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to special summon back a Phantom Knight, and a lot of the traps kind of work like that. So you just, lots of ways to get level 3s on the field and to make powerful rank 3 monsters like Levia the Sea Dragon. Then if you have a bunch of rank 3s, you can go into Utopic Future. There's all sorts of different ways you can use the cards, but you've always had to rely on like other level 3s, right? Like Junk Forward, the Burning Abyss monsters. Kagamucha Knight, the list goes on. But now we got some more main deck monsters, so maybe you won't have to rely on those cards as much. The first one we're going to look at is the Phantom Knights of Decayed Cloak. This one's really good. If this card's in your hand, you can reveal a Phantom Knight card and then special summon this card. So it doesn't have to be a Phantom Knight monster, any Phantom Knight card. It's a level 3 to extend out of your hand. If it's normal or special summon, you can add a Phantom Knight monster from your deck to your hand. Where's my Torn Scales? I didn't need to use my normal summon. We're going to go looking for it right away. If I already got Torn Scales, maybe we're grabbing Boots. Really good effect, obviously, for a Phantom Knight. But it also has, you can banish this card from the graveyard, target an Xyz monster you control, and then you can use that Xyz monster as a material for an Xyz summon, using it as a rank, as if it were a level. So that means you can turn your rank 3 into basically a level 3. So after you have like a spent rank 3 on the field, you can now use it as a material to continue your Xyz summoning. Really, really useful card right there. Really cool, really strong stuff. And then we have another main deck monsters. It's going to be another way to get level 3s on the field. The Phantom Knights of Doom Solaray. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this has to be the one you want to lead with if you want to special summon it. And then you can only summon it once per turn. You can only use each of these effects once per turn. If it's normal or special summon, you can set one Phantom Knight spell or trap from your deck. You can also banish this card from your graveyard, and then you can target 2 level 3 or rank 3 darks and increase their level / rank by 1. So it's another way to access more rank 4s like Raider's Knight and some powerful other rank 4, dark rank 4 monsters that you're going to want to use in your Phantom Knight strategy. But being able to set the Phantom Knight spell or trap, you might be thinking, well, Shade Burgundy's that's a level 4 monster. Like, yeah, it gives me a dark monster, but if I want to play this in Genesis, I can't like link it away or anything. But there is a new trap card, the Phantom Knights of Umbrage Veil, that if you have a Phantom Knights or monster on your field or graveyard, activate it the turn it was set, summon it as a level 3 normal monster. It also has the bonus effect that you can change an attack position monster your opponent controls a defense mode, like a little enemy controller effect. And then it also has a graveyard effect that you can banish it to immediately Xyz summon. If you are playing Advance and have something like Rusty Bardish on your opponent's turn, and you have monsters, you can banish this, Xyz summon to a zone of points 2, destroy a card on the field. So it can act as like a form of disruption. Or if you want to like dodge and like effect negation or something like that, you just activate the effect, banish this from your graveyard, it's chained to their like effect veil or something, Xyz the monster off the field so it can still resolve. Lots of utility, lots of cool ways you can use it, but it being a level 3 means that the Phantom Knights of Doom Solaray can now go into a rank 3 right away. But Billy, you said, Breaksword isn't a starter rank 3. It's not Wind Up Carriers in Mighty.
Nope.
Nope, it's not. But you know what is Wind Up Carriers in Mighty? The Phantom Knights. It is forbidden. Yeah. Wind Up Hunter, guys. Come on. I'm a Wind Up player myself. I'm happy that, we won't get into Zen Mighty, but we have an all new one for the Phantom Knight strategy. The Phantom Knights, a Malevolent Scythe. It takes 2 level 3 dark monsters. You can detach one material from this card, special summon one the Phantom Knights monster from your deck. There you go. Starter.
It's so easy.
It's so easy. So now the Doom Solaray turns into a starter card, being able to go instantly into this. It also says if you Xyz summon an Xyz Dragon monster while this card is in your main monster zone, you can add a rank up magic. There's a new one we're going to talk about in a second. And if it's destroyed, you can add one of your banished Phantom Knight cards to your hand. Like I said, Rusty Bardish can destroy a card on the field. Breaksword can destroy one of your cards and destroy one of your opponent's cards. Then you can add back a card you're missing. But being able to recycle those banished trap cards is huge.
Oh, and the monsters, too. You can recycle any banished card, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any card. Yeah, not just, you can do the monsters. The monsters I usually bring out with like Levier or something like that, but the traps would always be like locked over there. But there's also another brand new card. Maybe you've already seen these Phantom Knight cards. There's a new rank 3 out of the World Premiere section of Chaos Origins that will also help you recycle those trap cards. And I love this card's name. It is Shaman Knight, Shaman Knight. I'm saying that right? Shaman Knight, Shaman Knight?
M Shaman Knight?
Yeah, M Shaman Knight, Shaman Knight? No M, just Shaman Knight, Shaman Knight. But this rank 3 Dark Warrior with 1,700 attack points, 2,400 defense points, 2+ level 3 monsters. You might want to use more. But if this card is Xyz summoned, or if a trap you own is banished, you can target one banished traps attached to this card. So you could make this, banish one of your Phantom Knight traps, summon back a monster, and immediately attach that trap. So now you have the 3 materials underneath it. And now you can detach any number of materials from this card, target one dark monster in your graveyard or banishment with a level equal to the number of detached, and special summon it. So what we're looking at here is something very similar to Levier the Sea Dragon, but with maybe it has like a bonus effect. You can also summon from the graveyard, but it requires you to attach the material equal to the level, but you only need 3 for most of the time in Phantom Knights. So I really think this card's going to be pretty cool, and we're going to see it kind of taking the slot of maybe like that second Levier the Sea Dragon, maybe the first slot, who knows. It's a really good one, and if you're a Phantom Knight player or just a rank 3 enjoyer, this is a card you're going to look at. It's brand new.
Getting all those traps back into the graveyard where they can be banished again for their own effects is nice as well.
So good, yeah. I love the Shaman Knight, Shaman Knight. And then lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at the Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Requiem. I believe this is the last card we're going to talk about. It's a cool Rank Up Magic, and you see you can get it with the Phantom Knights of Malevolent Scythe. Will let you access it from your deck, but it lets you target a Phantom Knights or Xyz Dragon monster in your graveyard or banishment, special summon it, negate its effect, and then you can choose a Dark Xyz monster you control, and then rank that monster up. So it doesn't have to, you can bring back like a level 3 and then rank up like something that you have sitting there without materials that you want to use, and then use that level 3 you brought back for more Xyz summoning or whatever else you find usefulness for it. But it's pretty cool in terms of rank up magics as well. But yeah, new Phantom Knight cards, new World Premiere Rank 3 that kind of works like Levy of the Sea Dragon while recycling your trap cards and can summon from the graveyard. It's
I'm
good.
pumped for it. I love Phantom
It's a good time to be a Yudo fan and a Phantom Knight player. So yeah, I'm going to be looking to find a way to make this work in Genesis. I might also dabble a little bit in Advanced because Cherubini and Rusty Bardish are pretty key points for that strategy.
Extremely powerful cards. Extremely powerful cards.
But yeah, I'm really excited about this. But you know, before we get to the last part, I have a question, Jerome.
Yeah.
How does the Knight move?
It's the L.
Oh, it's an L. Okay, I know it gets the L.
Which is what you're going to try to hand your opponent with the new World Premiere theme, Angeliki.
Ooh, Angeliki.
Angeliki. Now, I'm going to need everybody to clear their minds right now.
Please.
Like, really focus. Ignore your current concepts of what duels look like. Things like having monsters in your main deck. Because there aren't any for this thing. These are all extra deck monsters.
Believe it or not.
Take a look at Shatrandra here. Shatrandra, this is the one that you saw on the product page on the website. You see it's a synchro monster. All of the monsters in this deck are synchro monsters. So how are you going to summon these if you have no monsters in your main deck to make them? There's no tuners, there's no non-tuners, there's none of that. What you're going to do instead of building a board, you're going to pose a problem to your opponent in more ways than one. So take a look at this field spell. Angeliki Problem. All right, so once per turn, you're going to discard a spell or trap, which you will have plenty of because you don't have any main deck monsters, and special summon a level 2 Angeliki monster from your extra deck. And if you do, you'll place an Angeliki monster from your extra deck into your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell. So all of the monsters in this theme, or all of the advanced pieces rather, have effects when they are in your spell and trap zone. And
so this places your pieces.
Yes.
You're setting up the game.
You're literally setting up the board. So if your face-up Angeliki monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can return an Angeliki monster card you own from your spell or trap zone to the extra deck and then special summon it. So if you put your monster out and you have another monster in your spell and trap zone and that first one is destroyed, you can then put the one from your spell and trap zone back into the extra deck and summon it back out. And it does have to work that way. You can't just like push it forward. You have to put it back and
these aren't valence.
So let's take a look at the level 2 monster first, because this is very key to how the deck works. This is the pawn, Angeliki Enlisted. This is the level 2 Fairy Synchro Tuner effect, and it works like this. So you know how normally you just move forward with the pawns, but in order to take another piece, you have to go diagonal. So that's how the pawn works as well in this theme. You can target an opponent's monster and discard adjacent columns. So let's get rid of the extra monster zones for a second. Shove the field back together. Enlisted's in the middle. That means it's the diagonal ones above it. So target an opponent's monster and discard adjacent columns, banish it, then change control of this card by moving it to one of your opponent's main monster zones in the adjacent column. So essentially it moves exactly like the pawn taking another monster.
So cool.
Now when it does advance to your opponent's side of the field, you promote it, much as you would a pawn that reaches the other end of the board in chess. And you do that by returning this to your extra deck, and then the owner of this card special summons another Angeliki monster from the extra deck. Now this is an effect, this is your opponent's effect, technically, because you've given it to them. So similar to Mimigul, they activate the effect. So if they have stuff that negates the effect of an opponent's card, they can't use it.
Oh, wow.
When you've promoted to their side of the field, or to block the promotion from happening.
And it'll also turn on certain cards too, like Triple Tax Talent, Triple Tax Thrust.
Yep, because they have now activated an effect.
Cool.
And you have plenty of room for these spell cards.
That's all you got room for, yeah. That's real. I love this theme.
So let's take a look at the promoted pieces. So you got the King, Shatranga, the Castle or Rook, a Bastion.
The Rook!
And
sorry, I had to
the Knight Destrier.
Continue, sorry.
Yeah.
I told myself I wasn't going to do it, but then it came up, I got to do it.
I understand.
All right.
I understand completely. All right, so here are our promoted pieces. You've already taken a look at the King. You can see while the King is in the spell or trap zone, your opponent is limited to only 5 monster effect activations per turn.
Oh, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, so what we're going to find out here is what problem are you posing to them with Angeliki Problem? And the problem is, how are they supposed to beat you with only 5 monster effects? So the first thing that you're probably going to do after you play Problem is you're going to summon your pawn, and then you're going to place Bastion in your spell and trap card zone. And Bastion essentially lets you castle. When you put Bastion in spell and trap card zone, you also get the king as well to go along with it.
Makes sense.
And then while this card is treated as a continuous spell, other Angeliki cards on the field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So not only are they going to be limited to 5 monster effects, they're not going to be able to destroy your other cards with card effects. It's going to be actually rather difficult to get past it all. And then the other one, the Knight, when it is a spell card, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, they take 500 damage when it resolves. So for example, on the first turn, you can castle up, and then on the next turn, you can get the Knight as well, and then your opponent will be limited to 5 monster effects, but also take 500 damage for everything, including their spell and trap cards. And these are on the field as monsters. They also have the ability to take other cards as well. Shatranga can target any monster your opponent controls, since it could move in any direction. Bastion can take out any card in its column, not just monsters, but the spell and traps as well. They move all the way in that direction, not just one space. And then the Knight targets something in another column. So basically, the Knight can never move in a way where it ends up in the same column that it started, right?
So cool.
So it can take anything that's not in its own column.
It'd be kind of hard. I feel like there'd be too many words if we had to like go 1 column forward and then 2 to the left. Or, yeah.
So you just put down, yeah, no, it moves like a knight. But that also wouldn't be very useful as well to players who
Not enough
only play
zones.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. Really cool stuff, though.
But yeah, also when Destrier is placed in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell, you can get another spell out of your deck.
Nice. I love the chain energy callback. That's really cool.
And then we've got some trap cards as well. So when you place the king, you also get an Angeliki trap. And the trap that you're generally going to get is this one, Angeliki Disturbance. It gives control of one of your Angeliki monsters to your opponent until the end phase. And if your opponent controls a face-up card in its adjacent monster zones or spell and trap zones, all of those effects are negated. So if they have a monster here and a spell or trap here that they've activated over here, you can then use Angeliki Disturbance to move one of your monsters into this spot here and negate both of these. And obviously the card that you want to hand them over is going to be the pawn, the enlisted, so that then it would promote in another way.
This is cool. Yeah, I mean, it's very effective negation because, yeah, it can negate spell cards too, right? So just if they activate something, activate chain, give it to them, stop this one. More complexity when you're having to decide on your zones. I mean, a lot of people pay a lot of attention to their monsters, not so much the spell and trap, as long as like which one is the imperm column, right?
Well, and that's the trick, is you also play imperm in the deck, so they'll try to avoid that, so you can get them to place it somewhere else so you can get multiple negations out of this one card.
I love it.
Especially if you just don't even have imperm and you're just bluffing.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You always want to play optimally, right? Like,
You can also banish this from your graveyard to get any Angeliki spell or trap to your hand except another copy of itself.
Oh, so Fool's Burial Goods is on the menu.
Now, the trick with this is that because you're not setting up a board in a traditional sense, you're trying to set this problem for your opponent to be forced to solve in order to defeat you. It's a little more difficult if your opponent has already played all of their cards before you play your thing that says, you lose 500 for each.
Yeah.
However, for this theme, there is a very unique solution to this.
This reads like a dueling skill. I'm just going to preface it.
It's called Angeliki Opening to E4, as in like that.
Yeah, the King's Pawn. Yeah, to E4.
So it's got a pretty unique line of text on it. You don't really see anywhere else. It's if your opponent goes first, you can also activate this card from your hand during the standby phase of their first turn.
Before they get to play it.
Before they go into their main phase and start doing their stuff. And what it does is it places the Angeliki field spell from your hand deck or graveyard on your field and gets you a level 2 or 7 Angeliki monster from your extra deck, specifically to the extra monster zone. It's got to be E4.
It has to be the E4
It's got to be
zone,
that one. So that means either enlisted or destrier, the pawn or the knight. And if you do that, then you also place an Angeliki monster from your extra deck in your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell. So you still get your rook, you still get your king, which means you also get your trap, although you won't be able to set that trap this turn because it's your opponent's turn. And then, until the end of your next turn, if this card resolves, you can't summon from the extra deck except synchro monsters, but that's fine.
No.
Because you're going to need 3 pawns in there anyways, and you're probably playing doubles of everything else.
And there's so many decks out right now that are restricted to synchro monsters that are doing, I would say, just fine.
Yeah. Now, if you were to put a monster in your main deck, and I'm sure you'll put a few because they help get you more turns, I can think of one that's also level 7 that you might want to put in your deck because you have all these synchros in your extra deck. And you could probably reveal 5 different ones as well because you're not just going to play these cards.
Yeah.
And
rhymes with Rhydrolis Ramonia.
And we haven't got all the pieces yet, right? There's no bishop. There hasn't been a queen yet.
Oh, and the queen's the best piece. I mean, not in general, yeah.
So it's not like, these are only going to be 4 different ones. You're going to be able to get to 5 eventually. But that is essentially how it works, is you set up this problem, you force your opponent to jump through a bunch of hoops to do what they want to do anyways, and the hope is that it's just a mess over there for them trying to figure it out so that you can sweep in with the rest of your pieces as well and finish them off, or if not finish them off, get them to low enough life, or having the knight as a spell or trap makes it so that they can't activate enough card effects to win.
Yep, definitely. And we've seen lots of decks in the past have success with that little incremental damage that inflicts directly to your opponent's life points.
The masquerade version of Despia.
Exactly, yeah. We've played these games before, but yeah, I'm really excited about the new world premiere theme. Yeah, I think that it works really well. It looks really cool. The trap, the reason I say it looks like a dueling skill, because it's always like, you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then all your pieces are set up, which is the way a lot of the dueling skills works, but that Angelicite to opening to E4, absolutely phenomenal trap card. All the cards are super cool. I like chess, so it's cool to see them incorporated into Yu-Gi-Oh! I always compare Yu-Gi-Oh! To chess. It's like with a little more random, RNG. Like you having that opportunity to have the heart of the cards, the luck from the deck. That's like kind of what's missing from chess. But now we get to incorporate those two things together and find out how strategic you can be, and if you can, put yourself into a winning position with some good ideas and attack the opponent. And then checkmate them, of course. I was like, how many keywords can I get in there before we wrap this up? It's been wonderful. We could literally spend all day going over this set. I love every card in it. It's a beautiful set. The first set with extended art cards and that new Starlight Rare technology. The Starlight Rare is going to be shinier and sparklier than ever before. And yeah, your first time to get extended arts in a core booster set. And then the cards I want to go in my deck are extended arts, so I know I'm going to have to really open a lot of packs to find those as well. So Chaos Origins premiere event is June 26th through the 28th. Make sure you check out your local official tournament store. Don't miss out. You're going to want to get that game mat, get your hands on the cards early, have a chance to get that secret rare Griffo as well.
And the points update for Genesis, including the new Corey cards and Bowser Legend Glorious Gallery as well, is going to go up at the start of the premiere weekend.
Yep, and this is all right before the NAWCQ takes place, just a week after the set release. So if you're playing Genesis or Advance, you're definitely going to want to look at Chaos Origins and get your hands on the cards as soon as you can. I'm Billy Brake. This is Jerome McHale. We had a great time talking to you about this beautiful core booster set. Can't wait to see you next time. But don't forget, it's time to duel.